Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a short video. This is on 1993 and 1992 EuroVan instrument clusters. These are sent to me from a shop in Canada. A good friend, um, and his name is Lucas. I'm just going to just refer to as that, so keep everything private as he requested it. But I want to show these are mechanical instrument cluster as far as the speedometer. He tested that and it's working good. So I will show you the other one in here. So this is the speedometer um, reading in here. Um, s- so yeah, these are mechanical as far as the speedometer. The rest is all pretty much the same as a 1997, 1999. These are clusters that goes. It's the same connector. In this case, we only have one connector. Let me just turn this one around again. It's a 28 pin black connector. I can show you here. Um, I will put that information, the picture, so you guys can see that better. We're looking for the RPM signal and then providing the signal. I read more the values is just the same as the speedometer is a 4 tooth per revolution of the engine. So I was able to put them in here. As you can see, we got, the RPM gauge working. I'm just going to increase the RPM and we can see that in there. Um, for the slides, let me turn this off. As you can see, that went off and I can kill everything as far as battery. And obviously you can do that if you remove the fuses or so on the car, but that's not a common procedure on the vehicle. So I'm just going to turn battery on, clock comes on, ignition. Since I have the RPM signal, let me turn the RPM off. As you can see, that goes off. And then at last, we got the lights. Hopefully the reflection can show the three bulbs on. And then I have the turn signals and the high beam. This is the most common areas that these fails. Things that I know immediately is that the oil level and the coolant, they should come on. And when you power the cluster, this is exactly what you're looking for. So they are working, and I can also check that in here if I, oops, sorry, I talk and I move the camera away. So let me do that again. I didn't know if you guys were seeing that. So when you power out the cluster ignition wise, this is a check for the bulbs in here, and that is good. That means that these is both are working. I can provide that myself as well. Got the signal at least for the oil. As you can see there, it's blinking. The coolant temperature should blink and also will do it. Depends on temperature. Um, if I move this, and now the fuel gauge is going to start to climb. I know that this one has the coolant gauge is definitely not working at all. I'm going to actually increase that level. You'll see that then now the fuel level will probably go up to a little over half a tank. I'm going to put the RPM back again so we can see the actual cluster is alive and is working, but some of the gauges and stuff is not working. I still have to open it up, and this is just test before repairs. I usually like to do this so to corroborate the customer concern and also to put attention on what I need to focus myself in. Their concerns is this coolant level light flashing. That will happen in two scenarios. That will happen if you have a low level on the reservoir, let's say, or if the coolant temperature as it reaches either too high or it doesn't move. So if it's a problem with the gauge itself, it will flash that light as well. And that is also a part of the coolant temperature sensor signal. So if let's say you have no reading of temperature and then it's not working, then you can check your wiring over to the coolant temperature sensor. It's a thermistor, so what you need to do is just the same thing, ground the wire, and that should increase your level. Same thing that I'm doing in here with the fuel level. It's almost the same principle as in the fuel level gauge, not in the sensor itself, but it's almost the same in here for my testing. And as you can see, yeah, the fuel level is working somehow properly, although I'm going to replace all. Let me just now Now I put them into zero, and I can see that the fuel level gauge is very slowly coming down. But if I power off, well, yeah, you can see that. You see how this one will come down immediately? This should do the same thing. So we have definitely problems in the separate motors or in the board. Again, I haven't opened it yet. So let me pause the video. I'm going to move the other cluster. So this is RO. Let me see if it's anything or numbers. Well, there are marked, as you can see, we got an arrow 1277. So this will be the next one that I will be testing. And this has, let me see, has this any arrows? Let me kill the power here and then flip this around. Yeah, this has the arrow 1853. All right, so let me pause the video. I'll be right back. All right, got the other one now in here. Let me power up, cluster. Okay, gauge clock is okay, zero. Very uncommon. I usually start as a one, but we'll see. Okay, the RPM is immediately reading. I have nothing else. Let me see this are working. The lights look like they're fine. Let me put now gauge, fuel gauge, and temperature. Fuel gauge look like it's climbing up. Let me recheck the bulbs. Yeah, the oil level is good. I don't think. Let me just do this. Let me stop the RPM. Once again, ignition. Yeah, I don't see a bulb in here. Look like this is the one that they removed the bulb because it was just annoying for them. All right, so I got to fix that. Let me do the same thing in here. You see, as we can see now, this fuel gauge and coolant gauge are reading. The other one, as you can see, the temperature was never reading. Doesn't mean that these ones are good. At least they're moving. I'm going to re-zero them, and they should come immediately as I turn the ignition off. They should come, boom, and then they're not. So they're definitely separate motors are stuck in there. Um, I don't see anything really major in here, but again, it's hard to say without opening it up. I can see the concerns on what they experience. So let me open these ones up and I'll be right back.